Facebook Marketplace. So the guy wanted 200s. He had it on sale on the Facebook for like 6 weeks. He lives about 8 miles away. I went there. He said he tried to start it today. It's been sitting outside and it didn't want to start. I pulled on it. It sounded like it was firing. It sounded like it was getting fuel. I didn't have time to tear it apart, so I offered him a little less and we negotiated. And so I get it home, I put the starting fluid in there, pull, and it doesn't start. Like it sputters. And then I take the air filtre off, and I pull the thing and I notice air's coming out the carburetor. Now, a carburetor isn't like a one-way valve, but air goes in, goes through, and comes out the exhaust. So I knew there was something wrong. So I took the sparkulator out, and this is what I found. Enhance. So, I don't know if you can see, but there's a valve right down there. Come on, get in there, get in there. And that thing's supposed to be moving up and down, and it's not. It's just staying open. Right there. So the valve's stuck, so we're gonna have to take this apart, but maybe this isn't that hard. So that didn't come off too badly. I had to take the bolts off of this top, and then the two on the sides, and then all these came off. They came off really loose. Yeah, so far so good, because the piston moves nicely. It's got a little bit of score. Oh yeah, I can feel that. But when the exhaust valve opens, it's just this one doesn't work. So we're gonna put some fluids on her. Not starting fluid, put some kerosene or something, and give her a little tap. Okay, so yeah, I rotated this so the exhaust valve is up, which means this has to be the opposite, because they're never both open at the same time. And then I just kind of sprayed a little bit of the old PB Blaster, otherwise known as Panther P. And I just carefully tapped on them with the old hammulator. So let's see. Okay, it goes up, and then that stays up. So we're gonna just kind of, and I think do that a couple times. It's either gonna start coming down by itself or not come down at all, which means, I don't know what that means. It's not participating. Coming out fine. Oh, there we moved. So I'm gonna hit the wire wheel and just kind of clean up this, and give her a go. So while I had it open, I sprayed it with some rust converter, because it had been sitting out for a while. And now I gotta go look up the torques on the head bolts. I have no idea, but it's, it's not like it's a car engine. Put that away. Glad I got that. That was a good find for that pile of stuff I got a few months ago. So yeah, definitely gonna cover it, because when it rains, it doesn't work very well, but at least she starts up. She sounds pretty good. So yeah, it works pretty well. These work well too. It cut down the noise about, I'd say about 15, 20 dB, and I didn't do the Bluetooth. Safety first. Yeah. So I chipped about 3 branches that we cut down last weekend. I stand on another branch. I got branches. So tomorrow I'm gonna downsize this. This about a month ago was about there, and I stood on it and compacted it down. So I think I'll bring it over here and do that. Then where I was cutting the trees this weekend, up yonder, there's a whole bunch of crap. I'm just gonna go to town on that. This is fun. She's got some. She's got balls. She shreds and makes mess. Yeah. Yeah, it makes a yeah. Well, that's what they have leaf blowers for. So I'm gonna do the right thing and leave this out. It's not gonna rain tonight or tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday. So we've had the refrigerator now for I think almost a month. Still have the plastic on there. Didn't take the plastic off here. There's a little line right there. Took the plastic off there. So what do I think? First of all, this is nice. I know when this is closed. I like the plastic trays. Plenty of ice. You really don't use the ice, and the ice doesn't drop down below. So I like that a lot. Gotten used to this. A crushed ice, nice, very nice. I love this. What's going on? Well, it's connected to the Wi-Fi. It's 0 degrees. It's 37 degrees. Everything's good. The other one had it in the inside, so I could walk by and I know right away. It actually tells me how many times the door's been open today. The crushed ice works really, really, really well because it cools the water immediately, and I've come to like the cooled water. Now, we have a water filter there. And that water filter is a whole house filter that actually also drives into this, so this gets double filter. Things I don't like, this door here, she's got a lot of weight to her, and this one doesn't. I got it mostly leveled. I probably need to raise it up a little bit. I've come to like the little shelves. I'm okay with that. Haven't gone in here. There's things going on, ice, and it's a space place. Plus, I don't know. Things are just happening down here, and we'll just close that because maybe it'll work. Shelves are shelves. Water filter goes up there. The other one had this too. You got to open up both doors to get to this, but I like the fact you can see things. At first, I thought sticking out was going to be a bad thing, but it hasn't been a problem. You get 2 milk jugs on here, and this is actually deeper than normal. These are pretty deep, so yeah, pretty happy with it. Back to the point where I'm thinking maybe it's time to replace this. This bad boy, after our house electrical fire, this works. Nothing past here works. So, yeah. You can turn these things on, but you can't touch these. I've replaced the circuit board, and it didn't make a difference. Plus the problems we had earlier, and it's acting up occasionally. So, they're on sale this month. I should probably just go pull the plug. And I can get an LG, which has the diagnostics are really nice. So, and I wash and dryer LG, so everything being LG with the diagnostics is nice. I think that's a Samsung. No diagnostics, but it's gas stove. Reviews. I got this a week ago. Out of the box, it supports charging the watch, charging the headset, and this sits right there for charging the phone. But it allows me to do the phone sideways. Why is that important? With iOS 17, which I have the beta, it becomes a clock when it goes to sleep. And since it's an iPhone 14, the display's always on. So I can switch between calendar, a clock, or just a clock. It's very handy. I really wish this had to turn gray so quickly. So, gonna go change on the oil for the BMW. And then I think I've decided on a plan of action for my ABS. It's pretty certain it's the actual module. There's some wires that have come loose. And that's going to be fun because they're really fun to solder. And I got to use a Dremel to get it open. And there's always a risk of fucking it up. So, yay. So we're going to crack open the old BMW oil letter outer, and see, I got the car up on the lift, and she's ready to go. Got the music going, and then we're gonna go do some chipping with our new chipper reader. Yeah, that's not a good choice, shoes-wise. It's actually cooler outside than inside, and the humidity is lower outside. It's 51%, so we're just opening up all the doors and windows and letting things go. These are all ready to install, but I need guidance of where she wants those. So, yeah. So this will be actually, so you'll hear a thing open, and the light comes on, and then it's gonna flush. It's pretty crushed. Now it's gonna shoot water, and when we let go, it'll be about 15 seconds, and you'll hear it close. So it keeps the cold in. You can actually feel the cold coming down. And close. It really is going to close. That's awkward. Nope, hasn't closed. Well, at some point it will close. Believe me, it will close. It's just barely not now. Okay, so I opened up my little flapper, and then I loosened my 17mm drain plug. Now we're gonna try and get all of it in this little pan here. So this will be interesting. Yes, my car still has all the little panels. So we got a glove on, and there we go. The good thing about this car is that the filter is on top, so we don't make a mess when we take the filter off, unlike many other cars I have. And I think we got a dog over there near the door who wants to go for a walk, so we're gonna do that. So I got a nice little kit. So it's got the fill tray, a new copper washer, and then the gaskets for the filter. So we'll wait till majority of the stuff drips out, then we'll put a lightweight pan on there, slide the pan holder underneath there, lower it, and then take that out. It's a sturdy exhaust. I am gonna go up here and spray for the winter. But, I don't know where my dog went. I think he got pissed and went back inside. I leave the door open a little bit so animals can open and close it. Either that or he's out in the street already. Let's see. Spike? Spike! There he is. He's been getting better and better not taking himself for a walk. Okay, well, it's too dark for me to see, but my camera is illuminating quite nicely. So I got over here. I just picked up crap, like piles of crap. And you can see I made a big pile of wood chips here and got through here, and I need to keep going. I didn't really touch much over here, but I got a lot of it done. I pulled dead shit out and learning what will go through and what won't go through. It works pretty well. I've got stuck twice, so I've just been picking and dumping. Most of the time you just shove it right down the hole here. You're supposed to put thin things through here, so thin branches I put through there. This one goes, this goes, it takes little cuts. So this is more of a shredder. This is just like a macerator. Always good to keep your gas handy, because I did run out of gas, mostly because I tipped it over, and apparently the gas cap has like a super release mode where when it tips over it just splashes all over the place. So I got it back up, which is funny because I checked it. I had like a quarter of a tank left, then I went and tripped it over, got the things out, and I went to go start it. Wouldn't start. I'm thinking, oh great, it wouldn't start. It must not want to run when it's hot. But then I got it to start in the starting fluid, and I realized, let's check the gas. There's no gas. So I did discover a feature. If you take these things off, there's a grill in here, and you take this bolt out here, There's another bolt down there, cotter pins, and you lose the cotter pins immediately. That's just part of the process. Then you can take the grate out. Then you get your hands and just rip this stuff out. Use the chopolators to pull and chop, and it wasn't too bad. You know, if I could see it, probably would have worked better. Again, this camera makes it look really light, and it's not. It's you know, the lights are on. It's dark. So anyhow, yeah, I'm hot and sweaty, but at least I got a lot of it done. Okay, so this is where the oil filter goes. This unscrews. Then there's two little a big gasket that goes on the outside and a little one on the inside. Then the canister filter looks a lot like this. We're gonna let that soak, or not soak, to drip, and then we'll throw it out after a day or two. We just put in 5 quarts. Yes, I did put the plug in the bottom. We put it on a Gudentitan. So Gudentitan is a German spec, and it's a German car. She's really dirty. I need to really clean on her. But yeah, so one of the fun things about Gudentitan German cars is that German cars do not have a dipstick. She's electronic, so that's 7 or 5. We're gonna just go by the can here and put in 2 more, and we're gonna say, that should be enough. And then we gotta drive it, and you gotta drive for like 15 minutes. So on the way to work, we'll just ching, 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 check. Also got to reset the oil indicator, because right now, when you start the car, it shows the car in a car lift. And when you turn it off, it shows the car in a car lift, which is a subtle way of saying, hey, asshole, change your oil. It doesn't say change your oil, just car lift. It's what you call a way of getting you to go to the service place when you don't need to. Because this was only $40 on the Amazon. Yes, I went to Amazon, it's the cheapest. And the filters, I bought a 3-pack, well, 1, 2, 3, a year and a half ago. So, yeah, no, less than that. Last year, because I got 1 left. Thanks, Olivia. I don't want to overfill my car. This will guarantee it. Not going to overfill. This is for a Model T. It's to take apart the axle or drive shaft or something. Editor, put in the picture of what this tool is, because it's on the phone. And then this, I got a picture of the part that's missing, and I got strange. There's a Chinesian version of this, and I say Chinesian because it says made in China, and yet patent Canada 1951, and it even said Chicago on the side, and Chicago is not a Chinese city that I know of. So it was like an exact copy. This is $500. So apparently if you need this, it works really well. So we're gonna have to make that little piece, but yeah, Model T. Who'd known? I gotta get a video of how you use it. He's following me out here. You gonna help now? You can clean up the oil spill? Spike, hello. Somebody needs a haircut. You ready to eat? You hungry? You hungry? Is it time for food? Where's that face? Where's that face? Where's Spike? Is it time to eat? Come on. Come on. Come on. Go on. Come on. Let's go. You ready to eat? I think he's ready to eat. Come on. What the hell is that? Open top dumpster compaction. I've never even heard of that. Must be some new technology. If you're thinking I got all the way out, packed the car, got in the car, started the car, and started driving away before I remembered I came here to get a goddamn fan, you'd be right. So I do have an Echo pair for stereo, which I appreciate. Well, shelf number 1's in, so I think it came out pretty well. I just used a little screw and 4 inches into the studs. So there's the second one. She wants it, yay. I didn't have time to do both. You know, I gotta pace myself, but it's strong. It ain't going anywhere. So I'm pretty happy with the outcome. And it's rustic. And then she'd probably put the stuff on the pegboard. This is the last pegboard. It's gonna be 3 feet by 4 feet-ish. I gotta remember how I did that. I think it's 2-inch width, 1.5 inch back. I went a 1/2 inch this way, then I put a groove thick enough for the stuff to go in, and put screws in, glue, and yeah. Again, the hardest part of this is finding wood that doesn't have, you know, like holes in it and stuff, big chunks like that. I did put a little wood filler, but you know, you don't see it. That's the key to this. You just hide the screws. So the only challenging thing was a false reading, because there's 2 studs there and 2 studs there, and all the lights lit up. I used this guy. I bought this about 8 years ago at Costco, and she works pretty well. She even got a built-in level right there, and I never use it, but there's a pencil there. So yeah, bing. So I usually take several readings. There is a 2x4 going across. No, not 2x4s. I put braces in between, because believe it or not, this wall was not fully attached to the bottom when I opened this up a few years ago, because initially this was actually an arch and this was 2 connected bedrooms, because this was on the other side of that wall, the other side of the house, on the other back of the closet, or the back of this. So yeah, you go through there. I think they'd call this nursery. The people that lived in this house had like 7 kids, so that was a bonus when we had this opened up after the house fire and found a big arch in there. It's kind of cool. I always have to assume that the horse is hanging its head out, it's having a good time. What always freaks me out, you know, sticking your head out the window as a horse is probably not a good idea. But that horse seems happy. So is this like a dog sticking its head out? Did that horse just yawn? Oh, I think there's 2 horses. Yeah, there's something hanging off that. Maybe this is 1 horse. I don't know. That seems like a happy horse. Definitely 2 horses there. Holy shit, there's 3 horses. A bonus horse. Well, so as a husband, the fact that I cook dinner is a bonus. Like, it has to be really bad if she rejects it. So we got carrots and bourbon. We got 2 fried eggs, some mushrooms that were looking a little funky, and some potatoes. I think there's onions in there. Maybe there's not onions. And then I got some fresh tomatoes. And worst case, you know, you put a little bit of salt on it, or a lot of it of salt. You got to put the pink salt on, because that's what she likes. I can't do this one-handed. You know, I assure you there's a lot of salt on there. And we'll plop those together when she gets here. Oh yeah, those have been assaulted properly. Turn that down low. This one woke me up at about 4 o'clock in the morning. She's been busting out. So this is a big piece of cherry wood on 2 pieces of oak. This is to keep her from going the other side. Now, originally, let's keep her going this side because she'd go down the stairs and I'd find her in the sump pump, you know, swimming, little dog paddle. No, I found her all the way at the front of the house. So she busted out of here. Now, I thought maybe I didn't, you know, leave this right. But no, I put it back this morning. And when I got in today, she was up in yonder. Now, what happened yesterday, or last night, I guess it was this morning. She got over here, and she got her freaking foot stuck in the grate. So, yeah. Well, she can clearly move. She doesn't have a problem walking. I mean, she'll get there. It might not be pretty. Yeah, great. I heard somebody complaining on the next door about trees turning colors early this year. That looks like red. You know why it's more red over there? That almost looks purple. That was really red. Weird. As I read. Well, we had a big storm northeastern Ohio last Thursday, and there are still signs of carnage. So the road was blocked yesterday when I went by, but you can tell here that there's some things missing. You know, power lines and tree limbs. Or, I don't know. I guess I could replace the poles there. Things just that pole. It's in 2 pieces. That's not right. So yeah, I checked checked the website yesterday. There are thousands of people without power still. They're looking at Wednesday, and it's only Saturday, so almost a week to get restored for some people. So, of course, it can't be global warming because that's a myth. So, must be God's will. Well, it's Sunday morning, and I left work at about 10:30 last night. Had to go to the west side, pick up Joe. So, still haven't found a solution for this. I think there's a place in Girard that will take it and drain the Freon. I looked online. I could buy the equipment for recovering, but you're supposed to certify it. And if certified, you have to have 2 years working experience or 4 years working experience with a licensed contractor. And I'm not going to quit my job and do that. The equipment's like $200, maybe less if I can find it cheaper on the interwebs. It's not that complicated. You suck the refrigerant out, you put it in a can. Anyhow, I sent an email to the place I bought it and asked him for advice. What happened is, I may have already said this, so I'll be brief. There was a recycling program. They paid me $75. They come and take it away. My trash company and my county will not take the away unless they've been certified. And I don't want to pay somebody $100 to come drain the Freon out, walk away with my free Freon, and then have to pay money to get rid of it. So anyhow, I don't regret not getting it from a place that'll just take the appliance away yet, because I would have had to wait like a week to 2 weeks for a refrigerator. So, if you may remember, this goes up, but it doesn't, well, it pumps, but it doesn't go up. It just goes up and then goes back down. So, I've done all the things in the interwebs. They decided it's the valve so when you turn it this way, it locks, you pump, it goes up, and it keeps going up. If you release it, of course, the pressure comes down. And I've bled these, and there's no air in there, so I'm down to like, just strip it all out, and there's a screw underneath here and a screw underneath here, and it was like halfway up and halfway down. But hopefully maybe I can screw this. And I had to take this thing apart. This goes, I don't think I could have taken this out without all the other stuff. So we're going to just keep on digging. There's definitely a seal there. Anyhow, so at this point, it's not on a warranty. There's only 90-day warranty. No, I didn't buy the service gantry. It's a fucking jack, and it's 3 to 4 years old. So there's no way, even if I did a service contract for $30 a year, 3 years later you paid for a new jack anyhow. So those are usually a scam anyhow. I just spoke for 2 minutes. As you can see, this is out. It wasn't coming out before. So after I removed this, I pumped this, and whoosh, fluid came out, and pumped this one, whoosh, fluid came out, and got all wet again. And I then moved them slowly, and I could see definitely fluid is coming here, which tells me that these are working. It was kind of new because I'd pump these, and this would move, and then I'd release. It had to be a valve. And it wasn't air-related because I bled all this and there was no air. By bled, I mean I pumped it lightly and fluid came out of all these holes, no air bubbles, and I filled them back up and put them on there. Anyhow, I went to go put this back in, and I noticed that there's a ball bearing. So I pulled this back out, put the ball bearing in, and now when I pump, which is extremely hard to do, by the way, you can see it's not coming back. I have a feeling when I remove this, hey, look, it works. So, fun. I'm going to clean all this up. I'm going to clean all these pieces up. I'm going to grind on this. Just kind of get it. Not that I don't care about the rust as much. It's just really nasty. Yeah. And I'm going to flush this entire system because I can do that easily. I got to take these springs off and put it back together and it should work. So kind of a success. Didn't mean to do all that. And yes, if you're wondering, did I hurt myself? Of course I did. On this big bolt that was through here, which I'd use this wrench. I was using this wrench here, and it came free, and then I went, and then got the skin off. So that's good. No successful project goes without me getting hurt in some way or fashion. Fucking great. A new theory, after I put it all back together, I grease this up, I clean off the chrome, so there's just steel, so it'll just be rust, which will just surface rust. Cleaned out the bearings, I cleaned all this area, I sprayed the shit out of that, got all the dust out, put it back together. So, I think when I tip it over, that ball bearing for whatever reason doesn't seat properly. So instead of taking the whole thing apart, redoing it and having it fail again, I'm going to pop this out, which compresses these. And I think at that point, I can unscrew this. Now, I don't know what prevents this, but it just stops at some point. But when I took it apart, it could get it out. And I think it's just hitting here. So unscrew here, unscrew this. You have to undo this because you got to compress these down to get the handle to go in and stuff. So this is just a C-clip. I've already taken it off once, and apparently I can take it off again. Why? Probably have to bend that back. So yeah, and then we'll not tip this over. In normal operation, I never tip it over. So I'm pretty sure it's just that ball needs to go in the seat. New theory. So I didn't take this all the way off. I just got the handle out and I could unscrew this and screw it back in. I think there's a limited travel. Somehow this only allows us to turn so many times and it just wasn't turning in all the way. I don't know, but she's raising. Or maybe the fact I did what I thought was the case is I unscrewed this and screwed it back in. What I found out is not only the screws here, this fits in a sleeve, so I'd have to remove all this stuff to get this out. That's why I started screwing around with it. Despite I had this piece out, you really have to take everything else out. So yeah, well, I hope she continues to work. So I have other jacks. These 3 over there. One's about this size, it's steel, but it weighs like 60 pounds. And I got a 3-ton that weighs about 80 pounds. They got an even longer one that weighs about the same. It's a pain. This one's aluminum. Obviously, that's steel. But this weighs about 35 pounds. It's so much easier when you're ripping this around. And this is a 1.5 ton. So if you figure only pick up half the car, that gives you 3 tons. 3 tons is 6,000 pounds. Theoretically, I can lift up half the truck if it would go up high enough. So for almost all my vehicles, that one's fine. That's why I bought it. And yeah, she's leaking again. I gotta tighten that. So get her off the bench carefully. Hopefully she'll work. Okay, so we're out here again. My free pile disappeared. You're gonna have to make a new sign. They took my sign. Why would you take a free sign? Well, I guess it was free. So just kind of gone through here, kind of got this out so I could get to the back there. I'm only going about 8 feet. That's it. I'm done. Cut some of the stuff that isn't, live. So basically, I'm gonna bring the chipper, take care of this. Gonna take care of this. This is my pile. Free wood, man. Free wood. Nice and soggy, some of it. Slugs are extra. Keeping the slugs. So some of this came back underneath there. So we'll chippealize this. Then we're gonna have to just go around it. You just grab. You go over there and just grab stuff. So little stuff, so I throw it in the center hopper, shreds it. So I'm just gonna try and go about 4 feet back and just get all that. Some of this I'm gonna have to trimulate, big shorter pieces, but yeah, it's looking better. This sucks. Some of this I cut down and just let it down there because, 6 months ago, this was 20 feet of stuff. I don't know why they had to go back that far when the drain line they put in is right here. It's like 6 feet off of the road. So the fuck knows. This will be fun. Headphones are working good for this. Yeah, because they cut a lot of this up and they play some tunage. I thought I'd start it here and I just pulled it and went like that. Good thing I ordered a full size cover. I was just, yeah. Oh yeah. See, a lot water tight than I thought you would. Just like the same. Cool. Normal way. I think we're going to use a little magic juice. This is getting a little tiresome. Okay, I got it started. I took the spark plug out, checked that, made sure the valves are still working, and pulled it, started it, cleaned out the filter. The filter's pretty wet, and I leaned it up a little bit, turned the idle, fixed the screw it. So hopefully she works. So I'm grilling some more bacon, gonna do all those brats, and use them throughout the week. Unfortunately, we lost electricities. I assume what happened is they turned something else on after they repaired it and just took us all down with it. Yeah. Well, power's still out, but I think it's looking better. So at least all the big logs are gone. I got the littles. We can start to reclaim. I dumped a bunch there, a little bit there. Got stuck twice there. Things got wrapped around the axle, so to speak. Lots there. And I got my pile. So I'm thinking about just doing a burn pile here. Just still a little annoyed I have to do this in the first place. I don't have to, but nobody else is going to do it. So yeah, hopefully our power comes back on. Yeah, got TV to watch. Want to take a shower? I can take a shower. Okay, well it's Monday morning, and it looks like they reconnected